Yes, I am back and welcome to the Amateur Athlete Podcast right here with Vaughan now today. Massive episode coming up. We're talking Hawks, we're talking Davo Hickey re-signing, we're going to talk some NBA stuff, a bit of that funky Joel Embiid antics in the warm-up, with his free throws. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about it, don't miss it. But first, let's check in with the Aussies in the NBA. We've got a number of Aussies, playing for several teams in the NBA. Let's just rattle off the list here. And there's some good bloody players in this too. I guess they have to be good if they're going to be in the NBA. But let's just go through the list. Dyson Daniels at the Atlanta Hawks is absolutely carving up this year. Dante Exum with the Dallas Mavericks, made the finals last year. Johnny Furphy, who got drafted to the Indiana Pacers. Josh Giddey, you know what Josh is about. Point guard there for the OKC, recently traded to the Chicago Bulls. We've also got Josh Green, who's been moved to the Charlotte Hornets. Joe Ingles, the veteran, Minnesota Timberwolves. Kyrie Irving, if you can class him as Australian, if he is really Australian, let's get him on the Australian Boomer side. Let's get him in there right now. Jock Landale, Jack McVeigh, who's recently got signed by the Houston Rockets and hit a game winner in preseason as well. Patty Mills, the ever-reliable Patty Mills, who's been a journeyman over there in the NBA. Duop Reith, big man, can shoot the ball. Ben Simmons, we all know Ben Simmons, and also, just on the Boomers as well, Ben Simmons, get your ass on the Boomer side. Get it there. Matisse Seibel and Luke Travers, who was with the Perth Wildcats, I think, and now is with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we have a massive amount of talent, Australian talent in the NBA. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize we had that many players over there, and they're carving up, especially Josh Giddey. He scored his first points as a Bull the other day, and he's a great point guard. His court vision is unbelievable. Joe Ingles, as I said, journeyman, veteran. Kyrie Irving, he's a championship winner with the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron. And as I said, Jack McVeigh, man, he's been unbelievable to start the season. Now, do I think any of these guys can win a championship? These Australian guys, the team they're playing for, can they win a championship in 24-25? Abso-effing-lutely they can. Abso-effing-lutely they can. And the main ones is going to be, of course, Dante Exum playing in Dallas with Kyrie, playing in Dallas with Luka, playing in Dallas now with Klay Thompson, and they were in the NBA Finals last year, Dallas. So absolutely, Dante Exum can win a championship in Dallas. And the other one, I think, who's going to have a chance of winning a championship, maybe. I was going to say Dyson Daniels with the Atlanta Hawks, but Atlanta, are they really going to make a run to the championship this season? Probably not. But the other one is probably Johnny Furphy with the Indiana Pacers. They got knocked out, I think, in the Eastern Conference Finals last season, I think. So, he's playing with Tyrese Halliburton. He's playing with Pascal Siakam. So if Indiana can make that run towards the playoffs again, make that run towards the finals, absolutely, Johnny Furphy can win a championship. Joel Embiid's little butt sniff. Let's call it a butt sniff. Now, Joel's injured at the moment. That's a massive thing in the NBA right now. Is he actually injured? Is he player managing, time managing, whatever you want to call it? Before I talk about the butt sniff, this bloody player load managing stuff, I get it for some players, but for Joel's excuse, I want to be fit for the playoffs. Number one, you're not guaranteed a playoff spot. Number two, if you fucking play, your team has a better chance of making the playoffs. So stop playing the playoff card, get in on the court, do some work, and help your team win games. Let's not bloody whinge from the sideline. Anyway, moving back to Joel Embiid's butt sniff. Yes, he's injured, but he was out on the court pre-game doing a bit of stuff, doing a bit of shooting, doing a bit of whatever. He comes to free throws. And for those of you watching this podcast on YouTube, you'll see the vision. He's got the ball in his hand, puts his, can't remember what hand it is, left or right hand, between his cracker, between his anus, has a scratch, has a whatever he's doing, has a little play around down there in that area, brings it up to his nose, and fucking, he has a sniff. Joel, what's going on there? Sniffing your buttocks mid-court on live television. What did you think is going to happen? You think you think the 175 cameras in the arena is going to miss you scratching your butt and sniffing it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Joel, come on, man. Keep your butt sniffing to your personal life. All right, I want to talk about something that really grinds my gears a little bit. Actually, more than a little bit. It pisses me off, to be fair. It's no secret that Klay Thompson got traded, went to the Dallas Mavericks in the offseason. He's been playing unreal basketball for the Dallas Mavericks since the start of the season. But I heard the other day, and I saw the other day, I think it was in commentary. I didn't personally hear this, actually. I heard the Warriors commentators, Bob Fitzgerald and Kalena Azubuike, mention this in commentary. But apparently, the Dallas Mavericks commentary called Luka Doncic and Klay Thompson the Splash Bros. Hang on. Let's rewind the clock the last 12, 13, 14 years when Klay's been in Golden State. Has the Dallas Mavericks forgotten Klay Thompson and that little guy who can kind of shoot the ball? Stephen Curry. They are called the Splash Bros. None of this bullshit. Let's not call Luka Doncic and Klay Thompson the Splash Bros. To me, that's not on. That's disrespectful to Klay and Steph, what they've done for the league, what they've done for the Warriors, their legacy. That's their legacy. That's their legacy as a duo, the Splash Bros. None of this bullshit calling Klay and Luka the Splash Bros. And then I saw a tweet or an Instagram post, whatever it was. It was when Luka passed the ball to Klay. Luka started running back. Klay splashed it. And they captioned that. Splash Bros. Get out of town, Dallas. Get your own name for the duo. Call them whatever you want. What's in Dallas? I don't know. Call them the... What's that space thing called? NASA. Call them the NAS Bros or some shit like that. I don't know. But not the Splash Bros. Come on, Dallas. You can do better than that. You can do better than that, Dallas. And while we're on Klay Thompson, yeah, Buddy Hield's obviously come to the Warriors. And he's been, these first couple of games, he's hit 12 3-pointers, the most in NBA history to open the season. He's hit 12 3-pointers. That's crazy. And mind you, behind Klay and Steph. In front of Klay and Steph. The Splash Bros. Now, people have been saying on social media, people have been saying, in the media, the Golden State Warriors have improved their shooting roster by bringing in Buddy Hield. Yes, Buddy's been leading the league in 3-pointers taken, 3-pointers made the last, 3-4 years, or whatever it is. But I feel, look, no disrespect to Buddy, he's probably, top 3 greatest shooters in the league. He is. But I feel like people are disrespecting Klay Thompson. I feel like people are ever since he went, 0-10 in that finals game against Sacramento, I feel like people are just throwing shade at him. Like, every single social media post I see online, you check the comments, Dallas posted something the other day, 22 points, 5 of 7 3-pointers made, whatever it was. People in the comments still Oh yeah, but he shot 0-10 in in an elimination game. Who cares? It's done. Who cares? Stop giving Klay Thompson shit about going 0-10. Seriously. But to my point, people need to stop comparing Buddy to Klay. People need to stop disrespecting Klay Thompson. Have the Warriors upgraded from Klay to Buddy? That's been a question thrown around. I wouldn't say that at all because Klay has been a phenomenal talent in the NBA for what, 13, 14 years, whatever it is. But has it added more depth to the Golden State Warriors? Yeah, it has. We've got Buddy Hield who's coming off the bench and scoring, you know, oh, for the past two games, the opening two games, scoring 20 plus points for us a night, which is fantastic because that's what Klay used to do. Klay used to be that secondary scorer behind Steph, score 20 plus points a game. So we have phenomenal depth with Buddy coming off the bench. Who else have the Warriors got come off the bench? Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton. So with Klay leaving, even though it is not what any of the fans wanted, not what I wanted personally, it has brought great depth to the Warriors. And Steve Kerr's come out and said it in the media. We are the deepest team in the NBA. And I tend to agree. The Golden State Warriors are the best team. Are the deepest team in the NBA. So let's not compare Klay and Buddy anymore. Let's not say Klay is washed up. Let's not disrespect the Splash Bros. Let's not disrespect Klay in any way because you know what? If you were having a 3-point shootout with Klay, you can get your ass kicked. One of my favorite players in the league right now, you probably tend to agree, one of the most exciting players in the league right now, one of the swaggiest, I guess you could say, players in the league right now, Anthony Edwards. Now, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not, he's going to be the face of the game in, 2-3 years' time. He is a class act. He is one of the best players in the league right now. He's an all-star, so on. But opening night, or it might have been the second game the Timberwolves played against the Lakers, trash talking Ant came out. And I love it. I love when Ant trash talks because we know Ant, he is I wouldn't say an emotional player. I'd say a hard player. He plays the game with energy. He just wants to win. He's a competitive player. And when Ant decides to trash talk, it is pure comedy. Now, Timberwolves played the Lakers, and I think Bronny come on the floor. Might have been in the second quarter. I think he come on the floor when the whole Bronny first father son duo to play in the NBA, which, by the way, it's unreal. I wasn't dusting that off as something small. That is a great feat to do, father son in the NBA. First father son duo to ever do it, and probably I'd say maybe the last father son to ever do it because it's taken this long to have one. When's the second going to come along? Anyway, back to Ant. I think Bronny come on the floor and played maybe a minute, maybe not, maybe even like 50 seconds, whatever it was. And then Ant started to trash talk him a little bit. I'm not sure if this was after the game or during the game, but Ant went up to Bronny, I think it was after the game, and said, "You ain't got a shower after that game, boy. You're good." Meaning, you played 50 seconds. You're not sweaty, boy. You don't need to shower. You go home. You just go get dressed. You go home. And I love it because Ant, and have you seen the starting five on Netflix? Ant, I love it when they flick the Ant on that because he's just like a kid at heart. Like, what, he's only 23? He's still a kid at heart. He playing his video games. His girlfriend was pregnant when this documentary was filmed. He playing video games, The family's coming around for dinner. You know, they're knocking on his door in his room. Come on, Ant, dinner's ready. Hang on, man. Like, I'm still playing my video game. You know, Ant's such a young boy at heart, and he's got a lot to learn in the league, but he is one talent, man. And trash talking to Bronny, I love it. I love it. And while we're talking about Bronny James, there's talks that after this Lakers 5-game road trip, he's going to be dropped to the G League. I wouldn't say, well, I guess it is drops, but you know, people kind of rubbish the G League. Like, if a player gets dropped from the NBA to the G League, they tend to put shit on that player. But for me, I see the G League as, you know, time to learn the game, especially for Bronny being so young. Time to learn the game, time to get minutes against good players, time to get his confidence playing basketball in Lakers colours. But yeah, I think it'll be good for Bronny to go down there and get minutes, build up that confidence, build up that game confidence in Lakers colours, because we want to see Bronny back in NBA Lakers uniform, and we want to see him, you know, getting minutes and playing basketball to his best potential. Exciting news coming out of Illawarra Hawks camp. Will Davo Hickey has signed on a multi-year deal. I think it's a 3-year deal, which is great news for Hawks fans, great news for the club, great news for Davo. And the fans love him, man. He's a crowd favourite at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. So, it's hard to knock. Like, it's easy to knock, someone who takes bad shots. It's easy to knock, you know, someone who has a bad game. But with Davo, man, he comes on the court with energy. He plays with passion. He plays with pride. You can't knock that. You can't knock someone who plays the game like that. And I think that's why the fans love him so much. Now, you're going to hear from him in a sec. But Davo has been great the past couple of years. He's worked his ass off to get to where he's at. His finishing around the rim has improved. His mid-range is great. His defense is absolutely phenomenal. He's blocking shots left, right, and center this year. So I think he'll say this as well. His 3-ball probably needs to improve a little bit, but who cares about the 3-ball right now when he's absolutely carving up? And don't you worry about it. He'll work on that 3-ball till he gets it right. So let's hear from Davo right now on his extension.
All right, Davo, firstly, congrats. Another 3 years with the Hawks. What does that mean to you?
It's an accumulation of all the hard work I've put in over the few years, you know, and just a lot of the sacrifice I've made over my career. So it's just knowing where I'm going to be, a bit of security, you know. So I'm really happy with that.
And I've been watching basketball for many years now. When you step on the floor, you play with passion, you play with energy, you play with, you know, just a massive amount of whatever you want to call it. Where's that fire come from? Because when you step on that court, the crowd lifts, the team lifts. Is that something that comes from within, like, personally for you for your entire life, or is that something that, like, comes to you on game day?
Yeah, I just feel like that's sort of who I am. I'm just a competitor, you know. Anytime I feel like I'm going out to win a game or win something, it's a bit of a, you know, a bit of a negative to a degree, because you know, it sort of infiltrates my life with games, you know, with the family and whatnot, board games. It gets a bit too competitive, you know, a bit of a sore loser, like, for sure. But at the end of the day, it's just who I am, you know. So when I go out, I feel like there's one thing that you can never, that the coaches never have to ask of you, and that's just your effort, you know. And if you can come in and bring your effort, at the end of the day, it's going to get seen eventually, you know.
Hey guys, don't forget that the Illawarra Hawks are taking on the Sydney Kings at Wynn Entertainment Centre on November 16. Now, every time I've been to a Hawks game and it's packed out, the atmosphere is incredible. The boys get up for the occasion, so make sure you get there and pack out the WEC. Tickets are selling fast for the Freeway Series Face-Off, so grab your tickets today at Ticketmaster.
Can the Perth Wildcats climb the ladder without Bryce Cotton, their star, their MVP, you know, the league's MVP? Can the Wildcats climb the ladder, make a run? I know it's only early in the season, but can they make a run towards the finals without Bryce Cotton? Now, Bryce, I think he's still on the injury list for maybe another 1 or 2 weeks, maybe even more, depending on the severity of the injury, which I think was a rib injury. which can be nasty, to be fair. So if his recovery or as I said, depending on the severity of the injury, isn't quick, the Wildcats might be in a little bit of trouble heading into the mid part of the season. Now, in saying that, they've got someone on their team called Keanu Pinder. Now, people in the United States might not know much about Keanu Pinder, but he is a great player. He, when I've gone to watch the Perth Wildcats play down here in Wollongong against the Illawarra Hawks, everyone loves Bryce Cotton, right? Crowd favourite. Anywhere he goes, he's a talent all around the world. He used to play in the NBA. Everyone knows Bryce Cotton. Everyone loves Bryce Cotton. But Keanu Pinder, he is a hard player. There was, as I was saying, there was this time in Wollongong. I think he jumped on. The ball was on the ground and he jumped. One of the Hawks players and Pinder jumped for the ball at the same time, and the crowd thought it was a dirty play. Jumping on one of the Hawks players, and that tends to happen all around the league. The opposition fans tend to not take to Pinder for some reason. I'm not sure it's because he's playing hard, whether he's, he scores a fair amount of points, but he's just not a favourable player for opposition fans around the league. I love him, to be fair. Nothing against you, man. I think you're a great player. But ever since Bryce Cotton has been on the injury list, hasn't been playing, Keanu Pinder, his game's gone from here to here. His numbers have skyrocketed. His points have skyrocketed because Bryce Cotton, he's the main scorer on that Perth Wildcats team. So someone's had to step up and be that secondary scorer while Bryce is off, because a good scorer is hard to come by in leagues like this. And Keanu has taken it on his shoulders. He says, I'm going to be that primary scorer now while Bryce is off, because someone needs to do it. I'm not saying that other people in the Perth Wildcats team don't have the ability to do it. Of course they do. But Pinder's been the one who's put his hand up and said, all right, let's roll. I've got this. And I think that is going to be great for when Bryce comes back, because we know Bryce can score the ball. Pinder is now going to score the ball even more. So which will go hand in hand with winning. So can the Perth Wildcats maintain a winning level while Bryce Cotton is out? With Pinder scoring the ball like this, yes. But on the defensive end, they need to be better. They need to be better defensively because, as I said, Bryce is not going to be there to score some of those points. So if they can get more stops on the defensive end, and Pinder and the likes of whoever else on their side decides to score the ball, yes, of course they can. And that's just going to make it more impactful for when Bryce returns. And to finish off the podcast, I know I touched on these guys last week, but the Adelaide 36ers, holy heck. Man, oh man, they are absolutely on fire. I touched on Kendrick Davis and Montrezl Harrell last week, but far out. I just want to touch on them again. This game went to overtime against the Cairns Taipans. The game ended up 99-93 to the 36ers. Who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop the 36ers? Because they're getting stronger and stronger, as I said last week. But Montrezl Harrell, 36 points, 16 rebounds. Whew. Big boy been working 41 minutes as well. So Montrez is just going from stretch to stretch. He's been an absolute beast, as we know he is. And let's not forget Kendrick Davis. Mama, 29 points, 8 assists. Kendrick is, I think I said it last week, I think he's probably the top 2 point guards in the league. He's a young guard. It looks like he has so much experience already as a young guard. We know he spent time with the G League Warriors over in Golden State, which I'd love to chat to Kendrick about his time over in Golden State, whether he got to work with Steph, Clay. But man, 29 points, 8 assists, 39 minutes in an overtime match. Kendrick Davis and Montrezl Harrell, they are going to be, it's probably safe to say they are the best, guard, forward / center duo in the league, because I don't see anybody else putting up, especially centers. I don't see any other centers putting up 36 points in the league. So, and looking at the box score, the only other person to score in double figures was DJ. Everyone else was single figures. We had 4-2, 5-5-2. So majority of their points came from Trez and Kendrick. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with come playoffs time.